up everyone? My name is Andrew. If you don't know me, you should subscribe because why not? You should also hit the notification bell down below to be notified every time I upload a new video. But anyway, today I'm going to be doing a more kind of chit chat video and just sitting down with you guys and talking to you guys. But I will be doing the DNF book tag. It was created by the channel Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. I will link their channel, or I will link their original video down below so you can check that out. But I was not tagged to do this by anyone. Nobody asked for this, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I haven't done a tag in a while and I've been wanting to do a couple of them, and this was one on my list. But I did recently watch a few people, I know the last person I watched do this was Mafalda, so I will link her video down below too so you can check that out. But let's just get started. The first question is, do you DNF? And DNF, if you don't know, means did not finish. It's a term I didn't know until I started being more engaged with BookTube and Book Twitter. And now I tell people I'm like, yeah, I DNF that, or I think I want to DNF this. And my friends are like, what are you saying? What lingo are you using? We don't know what that is. So that's what it is. Okay. Do I DNF? Yes, I do DNF. I have DNF'd. I might DNF in the future, but I don't like to do it because if I spend my money on a book, I really expect myself to read it and get my money's worth out of it and love it. So yes, I DNF, but no, I wish I didn't. 2, if you DNF a book, does it count towards books read for the month? I track my books on Goodreads. I started doing this last year and I really like it. I haven't really found another way to track my books. But if I DNF a book, I don't count it towards my Goodreads. I don't count it towards how many books I read in a month. I just don't count it because if I didn't finish the whole book, it's more of a personal thing. Maybe if you read 500 out of the 600 pages, then yes. But if I only read half or something in my head, if I don't read it all, I didn't read it. It didn't happen. Maybe I would count it towards a page counter if I was doing a page counter in my bullet journal or something, as if I bullet journal. I don't. I tried for a week and it didn't work. But yeah, I would do that, but I don't count it. I know last year I DNF'd a couple books and I had them on Goodreads because I started them and I didn't know how to stop it without saying I finished the book. So I just deducted it from my overall reading challenge. I don't know. It was a mess. I hope I don't do that again. I'm just not going to put it on there at all this time because I didn't know what to do. Number 3, is there a difference between DNF and just putting it down for a bit? I think so. I believe so. If I don't finish a book, I will get rid of it. But if I put a book down, I will come back to it. For example, I started reading The Name of the Wind in January. And I'm still reading it. I just put it down, but I read a little bit here and there. I keep it in my purse. It's a little mass market paperback, and it's kind of fun to just, when I don't have anything to read or when I find myself just having this little bit of free time, I pull out Name of the Wind and I'm like, I really need to get into this more because I'm really loving it. I'm halfway through. So I'm not DNFing it and I'm really loving it. I just don't pick it up as much as I should because it's a heavy fantasy and it takes more time, but I do just put it aside. Another one is Pride and Prejudice. I started it in February and I'm kind of doing the same thing as The Name of the Wind. I'm picking it up here and there, reading a couple pages, but I haven't completely DNF'd it. I haven't completely said, I'm not going to finish this. We're done. We're cutting it quits. We're calling it quits. I haven't said that. So yeah, I do think there's a difference. Number 4 is, what popular book have you DNF'd? Okay. I DNF'd Frankly in Love by David Yoon. I know that one got a lot of hype and I bought it just for the hype, and then I started it and I realized that I wasn't really interested and I didn't want to continue it, and I wasn't in the right headspace to read it. I couldn't give it all my attention, and then from that I just had my lights just do this in every video, I swear. But from there, I just knew I wasn't going to give it the attention that it deserved. So I was like, yeah, I'm just not going to finish this book. And it was a signed copy and everything. And I was really mad at myself for a while. Andrew, come on. I was really mad. But another popular one I DNF'd was Again But Better by Christine Riccio. I really felt bad about that one because I bought it because Christine is a YouTuber, a booktuber, and that's really cool. I think that booktubers should be authors because we read the books, so we know what we want. But with that one, me and my friend Kendall buddy read it, and it was just not doing it. And I think that more fantasy, realistic fantasy stuff comes in at the end from what I've heard. I didn't finish it. but the beginning was too contemporary for me. And at the time, I was getting into like The Cruel Prince, and I was reading Darkest Minds, and I was into all these fantasies and dystopians and like these bigger kind of titles that were like backlisted and like famous on BookTube. And I was really trying to catch up and like get into like book Twitter, and it was just a weird time in my life. So I kind of feel like maybe I would go back to it one day, and I feel like I really do like Christine's personality, and my thoughts may have changed by now. They might not. I might pick it up one day and just DNF it again, but I don't know. Yeah, I DNF that one too. Number 5 is, what book do you wish you had DNF'd? Probably the one I read last month, which was Burn for Me by Ilona Andrews, a paranormal romance. I honestly don't care about that book, so the fact that I had to read it and waste my time, it was just not a fun time. And so I do wish I could go back and just DNF it, and then it wouldn't like mean anything. But I also don't like to DNF books, so I probably wouldn't want to DNF book. Or maybe I would want to DNF like City of Bones when I was 18 and had just graduated high school, because if I had never read City of Bones, I wouldn't have spent so much of my money and time on Shadowhunters. Imagine what I could have done with that. Imagine where I would be now. Like, I would not be here if I hadn't read City of Bones and like felt like I wanted to get more into BookTube and start a BookTube channel and just do all that stuff. But then again, I love Shadowhunters. Never would have met Gems, so you know what? No, I take that back. I don't wish I DNF'd it. It's too much of like a part of my life that I don't know how I said that. It's kind of blasphemous of me. How rude of me. Number 6 is, do you ever reattempt to read a DNF? Has this ever been successful for you? Yes, I do. I will try multiple times if I have to, if I want to read it that much, because usually when I go into a book, I want to like it. I want to fall in love with the world. I want to fall in love with new books. I want to love all the books. But specifically, when I read Six of Crows the first time, I DNF'd it, and I was like, nope. First chapter, nope. Juice 2, nope. I can't. I couldn't do it. And so then I was like, you know, I'm not getting rid of this one. It's too loved, and I'm gonna try it again. So when I tried it second time, obviously I freaking loved it, and it's so crazy to me that I DNF'd it, and that kind of makes me apprehensive of DNFing books. I would consider my reattempt at that very successful. The fact that I now have 2 copies of Six of Crows and 2 copies of Crooked Kingdom. I have Kaz and Matthias Funko Pops. Like, I am complete Six of Crows trash. And I also have read them 3 times now, and I'm gonna reread them again next month with Leia. We are going to do buddy read. So yeah, like, it was very successful. Number 7, what do you do with Books You DNF? So I have a Depop where I sell books and bookish items when I don't want them anymore or need them. Sometimes I end up with extra copies of books. It's a mess, and right, I'm just trying to make like a little bit of my money back. But when I DNF a book, I sold Again But Better. I remember I sold that one on Depop for like $10, and I did the same with Frankly in Love because it was a signed copy and had sprayed edges. It was very beautiful. So I just sell them for like cheap just to make somebody else's day and make them happy. Like, it's not going to do anything for me on my shelf, so let me give it to somebody else where it might be appreciated more and somebody might love it. So I'll do that, or I work at a used bookstore, so I take a lot of my books there and just give them to the bookstore and we sell them to customers. Number 8, do you choose more or less risky titles because of your stance on DNFing? So I don't think that my stance on DNFing books, well, maybe it does. I guess it does affect it because I don't want to DNF a book, and I don't want to spend money on a book that I'm not gonna like. I think last year was the year my booktube channel really started growing, and I really started interacting with other booktubers and stuff, and the whole community. And so I just found a lot more books that I felt like I had to buy, and I was buying so much. This year, I have done really good. I've only bought secondhand books or books that have been on my new release list since the beginning of the year. So I've been doing pretty good on that. But last year, I was buying just left and right all the books. If I just saw it on Twitter, I would literally buy it, and it was so bad. And I have all this cart right here that I haven't read because of that, and it's got to be too much. So this year, I'm just trying not to do that. I do judge books by the cover because if it has a good cover, I'm gonna buy it, and I'm probably gonna love it even more with a good cover than a bad cover. But I do also look at the synopsis of books, and I want to read it and understand what it's about and to be able to have a connection with the book. And that's what I used to mainly buy my books off of, is how well I like the synopsis, if I think I will personally like it, and then how much it connects with me. Because I kind of can pick up a book and be like, I'm gonna really like this. I mean, I think we can all do that. But when it comes to me getting books from other people's opinions and just the hype, not opinions, because I like to see people's opinions in their videos, but from the hype, mostly on like book Twitter, and me not knowing what things about and still buying it, that leads to me DNFing the books, and so I don't want to do that anymore. So hopefully I will not do such risky things anymore, and I will actually think about it and form my own judgment on what books I want to buy, and that will lead to less DNFs. I hope. That's my plan. So far it's going pretty good, and I haven't DNF'd a book in a while, so I think I solved the problem. I think I'm doing pretty good. Number 9, tag 5 booktube buddies or however many people you want. Let's see. I can tag 5 people. I can do this. I'm gonna tag Hayley from Pages of Hayley, Therese from Bookish Therese, Lisa from Lisa Marie, Connor from Connor Stoppanato, TB from TB Kane. I could keep going, but that's 5, so I'm done. Okay, that's all I have to say for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you DNF or you don't DNF down below, or what's the last book that you did DNF. If it's Six of Crows or like one of my favorites, don't tell me because I'm gonna be sad. Just kidding, but that's all I have to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!